I am Angela, and this is my day one,
DayOne.
and you're watching Day One Reacts. And tonight we are doing a spoiler review of, wait for it,
Mortal Kombat!
Okay, now I watched this last week when it came out, and Dewan is just watching it today, right?
Yes, I didn't
Okay,
watch it when she came out when they came out.
cool. You watched it today. That's what you
I
saw
did.
it. I mean, it's like one of those movies that it's like you have to watch. It's just like we were saying with the um Godzilla versus King Kong. It's just like you watch it. It's like you watch,
Yeah.
right?
They're
So what?
released for a month, so
Yes. So let's just to say I saw it.
yeah.
That's
That's
what it
like
felt like. But
exactly.
did you like it?
It was a movie. It was a film, if that's what you wanted to call it. Overall, like from whatever they put together,
Hmm.
I I want to say I like did not like. It was like split right down in the middle,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's pretty much the nicest thing I have to say about this.
Okay. Well, let's just at least do like okay, we're gonna do best bits and then the cons. Okay. So
All
like
right.
I'll start. Like the best bits for me, the fights. That was like the best
Yes.
parts of the movie. And I just got like three fights in particular that I like the most. I got the Scorpion Sub-Zero fight, the one at the very beginning and also the one at the end. Those were the best fights for me. And then I have the Kung Lao and Natara fight, the one where he slices her in half with his hat.
Oh
Like,
man, that was so sweet.
I love that fight. That was so good. And literally, I couldn't watch all of it. I was like, ah, ah, ah. And it kept going and going and going.
I know. I
Like,
think did he like split it entirely in half?
yes. And I'm like, cut away, cut away. It didn't cut away.
I'm such a boy because I was like, whoa.
I literally thought they was going to do like a cutaway. There was no cutaway. You saw the whole thing. It
The
goes
whole
straight
thing.
in, from head to caca. It was like straight through.
Exactly.
Like, there you have it. And
Split
then
it
my
right
other
in two.
favorite one was the Sonya and Kato fight because I like how
Mhm.
it did like the setup with the gnome, and then it called back when she used the gnome to kill him with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was
And
cool.
let's see, what else did I have? And just basically, I just had like the blood and the gore. I like anything that had like the blood and gore in it. Those were my favorite parts. What about you? What are your favorite parts?
Okay, my favorite parts were I like you were in the beginning. I liked the fight scene between Sub Zero and Scorpion, and that the gore. You're so right. It's like everything, and then I like little details, especially about Sub Zero. Like every time it's snowing or it's
Yeah,
cold
it get cold,
or
right?
yeah, that's when you know he's there, and I'm like, oh
Like
shit.
scary.
Right, that's when it's about to hit the fan. Cause like it's snowing, but it's July. Like what? And then he pops up, and I'm like, oh man.
When he popped up to get cold the first time or whatever, and it was snowing and stuff, and like there, okay, he and his wife are in the inside of the restaurant, and their daughter is out there on the sidewalk sitting on the table. I'm like, get your baby. Why is you standing in this?
Right,
Get your baby.
right. They just looking at her like it's snowing, and but it's
Yeah,
July. So like,
get
aren't you gonna go get your baby? I'm like, go get her. What are you doing? Okay.
your
Okay, and I liked the fight scenes, particularly towards the end. Like especially that every time a movie is about to end, that's when everything gets heightened. And
yeah.
then like I liked all of them in particular, but the one that got me the most was the ending with Sub Zero. Like no, when Scorpion pops up with that spear and
Yeah.
he goes,
Get
"Get
away.
over here!" And I'm like, the 10-year-old boy
Yes.
just like let out the biggest squeal of joy. I was like, yes,
Dude,
yes,
that's what I was waiting for, like, the whole movie to hear him say, "Get over here," so
right. And unfortunately, he was only towards the end that
only
he said
time. The only time.
it. And then another thing I liked was about how I forgot what they called it, but it's how they get their powers. And
Yeah.
the coolest part was one of the powers with Jax, like how
Yeah.
he had those like little bony arms at first, and then like they evolve into yeah. And then Kano, I hated Kano, but like I just like how he was joking about him, and
Yeah.
then like so like those arms grew up, and then when he went to fight him, he like smashes. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, when he fought,
oh
what was his name? Rico.
yeah,
Kinda like
Rico,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the details they had about the characters. And that's about all. Like wrapping up the action, the little details about Sub-Zero, and just certain parts about how they got their powers. That I
Yeah.
like those parts.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, it was, those parts were pretty good too, but it's because it felt like it was, stuff that, like, you saw in the video game, so it was just, like, bringing those things from the video games to life. So,
Yeah, the
it's like,
fan
"Oh,
service.
I know that move. I know that move." And, like, what was it when, what was his name? I just said his name a minute ago. Kung Lao, when he killed, Natara, he was like, "Flawless victory." I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think he liked
that
to
was
laugh.
good.
That was pretty cool. But,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
okay, so now the cons. Did you
Uh,
wanna go first with your cons? Since I did a little.
I I am just waiting to go first with this because I am the
Good.
sick complaining about things, and I have little rants. Okay, so
Mhm.
my rant. Here we go. First of all, to call this a movie is it's putting it very lightly. It was kind of like a real paint by numbers thing, and like it was so many like for it to only be 2 hours, it was so many things happening, with characters popping up for like without any type of explanation,
Yeah.
and then they
Like
had like
Grogu? Like, what was it?
yeah,
Not Roku, Goro. That's the name, Goro, when he pops up out of
oh yeah,
nowhere
the yeah,
with the 4.
characters are just popping up out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and like it was supposed to be some type of setup, like
Mhm.
um as far as like who was going to fight who. Then they had the tiny bit of plot, if you
Mhm.
want to call it that, about the Earth realms versus the other the immoral realm or whatever that it is, and like they have to fight. It's just like wow, it has just as much plot as the video game itself.
Yeah.
So like, because I know from playing the video games is that when you played it, it wasn't much plot at all. So
No.
they did, it was just like
Talk.
pressing buttons and beating people and doing fatalities.
Yep.
So like in that regard, yeah, the gore was good, but then I was expecting a little bit more. And I know I didn't expect an Oscar-winning movie, but
Mhm.
it it was
Just
just
something
so
better. Yeah.
yeah, it was just so hard to follow because I could not figure this out. And then another thing I didn't like was with all these hundreds of Mortal Kombat characters that they had over the years. You're talking about 11 video games.
Mhm.
No Johnny Cage, and they mentioned him
That's
at
my
the
cons.
they mentioned him at the end, and I'm sitting there like they created Cole, but Cole could have been Johnny Cage
I have that
in this.
down as that's exactly what I wrote down.
And I'm just like, ah,
Mhm.
yeah, and I do like the fact that it was only 2 hours because God forbid having to sit through that for anything
Like
longer than
a
2
end
hours.
game length or something, or
Oh
Justice
man,
League
that was
length. Yeah.
dead on arrival, and I was it was able to keep my attention, but not in a good way. I was just looking at like, uh, then action sequences pop up, and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, that's my rant. That's my rant. I just it
Okay,
wasn't
so my biggest con was there was no tournament. When you think
right.
of the movie Mortal Kombat, even like both of them, the regular one and Annihilation, there was a tournament. But then I also thought about it too, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, this is supposed to be like an origin story, but it's like it's an origin story for Cole, not an origin story for the rest of them because they've been in tournaments. Because you when they walked into the when they came into the like the temple, you saw how like the different portraits of the tournament. So they've been having tournaments. So it wasn't like an origin story for the tournament. It was an origin story for Cole. This was all about Cole. And but being all about Cole, he wasn't a great character to be all about to me. It's like you
No.
were saying before, like it would have been better if it was like instead of him being our avatar, Johnny Cage could have been the avatar. He's a guy from Hollywood and he has this big ego and everything, and he has to learn to humble himself because he gets these superpowers, whatever, he doesn't know what to do, but he's arrogant too. He has a bit of that Kano in him as well because he has the arrogance as well. And his story could have been him learning to be humble and learning to like deal with his powers and learning this different world that he's coming out of being like pampered and everything his whole life or however long he's been a superstar, and him having to be one of the a part of a team instead of it being about himself. I think that would have been like a great story, but it wasn't. So we got what we got. Uh, the second thing was
Exactly.
the story, so I already already explained that, and I said about Cole, him being the avatar, not happy about it. I felt like Goro was like totally like shoehorned in because you never talked about him, never saw him. At least you saw the other guys along with what's his name, uh Chung Song. You saw the his whole team, and then all of a sudden Goro comes out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know he was part of your team. Where did he come from? He just like all of a
Yeah,
sudden shows up in Cole's barn. You know, I just thought that was
that's
weird.
the thing. They keep showing up with
Yeah.
no type of explanation as
Well,
to
he did like remember when Braden he brought them into that void and they made the plan to like break off and fight each person or whatever. That was like them like, I could understand that taking them down one by one, but wouldn't a tournament done that too? If you would have just had the tournament, that would have been the takedown of each one too, instead of I don't know, because this was all about Cole finding his like I forgot what they call it, but his power. And and then also I didn't like that they made Kano the bad guy. I thought he would have been great if he would stayed a part of the team. He could have been just the asshole of the team that nobody liked, but they just had to deal with him. You know, that kind of guy. There's always one in the
the
team. There's always
anti-hero.
one. You know,
Hmm.
and he could have
They
been that
always
guy, the one that just okay. Well, we got to deal with him because he's a part of our team. He may be a jerk or the asshole, and he talks a lot of shit, but he's a part of the team. That would have been cool. But having him flip like that, I just didn't think that was I didn't like it. I don't know.
yeah, he flipped too easily. They
Yeah,
was
it was
like they
like
was like
so. All you gotta do is call somebody a chicken, and you just like, oh, you're a chicken. Well, I'm not a chicken. I'll show you. Like,
right. There was like fight with us, and then he's like, okay,
yeah,
it's just
it's like, all right, because I like, okay,
it's viable.
that could have been like a part of his like character too. Him learning to not just care about himself because he was a selfish person, and that could have been his like character arc of him like learning to be a part of that group, or whatever. Instead of just
Yeah,
like doing what he always do, like double cross everybody. And then when it end, what he ended up doing, double crossing everybody. And it's just like it wasn't a surprise, but still I was like, oh, I just wish they didn't go that way. That's the only that
yeah.
really. I'm like, no, that was just too easy. They could have found
Totally
another
tape
way to
on
like
numbers.
break in. I just felt that was just too easy. And the guy just calling you a chicken, and you just decide, okay, I'm not a chicken. I just thought that was just like, mm, uh, whatevs.
He was so easily viable.
Yeah.
Like she said, $3 million. Then it was like he's not gonna get that $3 million. Then he was talking about some money. He's like fight with us, and
Like, oh,
he was just
you gonna take orders from that girl? Ha 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 ha. I'm like, oh, like all you gotta do is like tell somebody a mama joke and you change sides. you
yeah,
know?
and oh my God, what is the name of the character that talked to him? What
Uh, that was Cabal.
Cabal, yeah,
Yeah.
just like Cabal, like where did he come from? I was like, he just
But that was
popped
funny.
up.
Remember they worked together? That was the guy
Okay.
he was talking to before. He said they worked together and he double crossed him.
Oh, okay. So
And that's
yeah,
how
I probably missed something earlier in
yeah.
the game.
But
I mean, in the movie,
but didn't he
because I was like,
Bane? Didn't he remind you of Bane?
Colonels, free final doors.
He reminded me of Bane for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. Only like with how Bane had the half mask, you like you see the top of his head. He had
Yeah,
the full mask on.
and then he was like,
It, yeah, he was ridiculous. I,
yeah.
yeah,
So
he was one of
and
the
then
more.
like of course like my favorite scene was the end scene between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That was my favorite scene. Um especially when he like it goes back at it was another payoff. It was a setup when Sub-Zero killed him in the beginning and he told him,
Yep.
"Remember my face because you'll see it again." And then when he came back as Scorpion, he's like,
Hmm.
"Remember my face?" and
Right. Yeah.
Scorpion was like, not Scorpion, but Sub-Zero was like, oh, I know you."
I know you now.
Yeah, he did the fire. That was really cool.
Yeah. Like they said he was dragged down to the deepest parts of hell, and now he's learned to control the fires.
hmm
Yeah, and then like yeah, that was cool. Because I think I've seen that in one of his fatalities, Scorpion.
Yeah, I have seen
Like
that before. Yeah,
where he
it's
like he breathes fire and melts the
hmm
guy's face. Yeah,
yeah, that's a special fatality. Yeah.
fatality.
hmm
Did we the fatality? I know we heard the flawless victory, but I want to hear the fatality.
Well, they just did. He said flawless. He said flawless fatality, or is he flawless victory? I think he said flawless.
No, it's a flawless victory. I was saying we got the
Okay.
flawless victory, but I don't remember the fatality.
Yeah. We got a
It's
Kato
yeah,
wins. We got that one. Yeah,
Kano week.
Kato wins. I don't think we had a fatality or whatever. I don't remember if we did. Oh, wait a minute. Did Liu Kang do that when he did the fire?
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. You're right.
Was
Yeah,
that the fatality one? Did he say fatality on
yeah.
that one?
When they got with the dragon fire with
Yeah.
the claw. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he
yeah.
said
I
that. I
remember.
think
Yeah,
he
he
said
did.
fatality. Yeah. So we got like the buzzwords.
Yeah, they did a good job, I guess, as far as the fan service. But the thing is, a lot of energy was put so much into fan service
Mhm.
that they were and fan service and action. Because I'll give them that on the action, but
Mhm.
action doesn't always drive a plot. You got to
No.
have something kind of going on. It's
Yeah,
always
that's
like,
the and. That's the and
yeah,
part of a story. And it's not the story.
right. Not the story. That's just like you can't have a good plot without any action,
Mhm.
especially if you're having an action movie.
Yeah.
They kind of go hand in hand. You need to find like the delicate balance, the yin and the yang. Like the plot should be just as good as the action, and
Mhm.
like the selection of characters. I mean, all of it should like work organically together. And it just like I said, it was just like they just threw everything in a bowl, mixed
Yeah.
it up, and was like, "Hey, this
Like,
is a
oh, and
movie.
don't forget to put
Here you
that in
go."
there. Oh, and don't forget that, and don't forget that, and don't forget that. Right.
Yeah, and they were just, you know, and it was like very ballsy of them to put that little thing about Johnny Cage at the end, like it's going to be a sequel.
It is. It's gonna be a sequel.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what I'm saying. That this
I'm
was origin
surprised.
story. Yeah,
Okay.
this is the part one. And they're supposed to do like I think the guy who played Scorpion, he signed on for 5 films. So they're
Ah,
making a
film.
yeah, they're making a series out of this.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
maybe the next one they'll actually have a tournament. I don't know.
Maybe the next one they'll actually have a plot.
Yeah,
Dun
yeah.
dun dun.
But
I'm such
okay,
an asshole.
this is my question of the night.
Okay.
Who do you think an actor that's out right now? Who do you think will play a good Johnny Cage? I got two. I said, I think Dwayne Johnson would be good, The Rock. But then also thought about maybe he's too big, like body wise big, but he has
Yeah.
the personality. But and then also I thought Jason Momoa. I think he's not as big, but he has a good size on him. But like I'm thinking of him like how he looks when he was an Aquaman and he was like nicely shaped. And he also has that personality too. I can see him being like a a pampered Hollywood superstar and then he becomes uh what a god basically. So those are my
Oh
two.
man.
Who do you
Hmm.
think will make a good Johnny
Ooh,
Cage?
Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage. Oh man. So like for the next movie. Okay,
Mhm.
for the next movie. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one, Angela. Okay,
Oh,
so
sorry.
yeah, you stopped me with that one. You stopped me with that. Okay, so for I I want to say um hmm. Okay, we gonna have to edit this one out because I
Oh,
this.
I got one too. I forgot. Michael T.
Okay,
Jordan. Michael, what's his name? Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. I
Michael
forgot about
Michael
him.
B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, I forgot about him. He would play good. He would be a good one too. He'd be a good
Oh
Johnny.
yeah.
I could see him playing too. So that's three. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. That's three.
Okay, so hmm. Jeez, Johnny Cage. That's Hollywood dude, sunglasses, you know, fighter. Hmm.
he got
Okay, so like,
he got to be able to be cocky and also and like he has like that personality like the world revolves around me. Someone who think can play that kind of role.
all my people would be old at this point. Cause I was thinking like, but why would he do this? I was
Oh,
like Brad Pitt at first, but
he's
then
too
like that's
old.
Brad Pitt. I
Yeah,
know he's like he's
Brad Pitt's like
he's
68.
ancient. He's right. He's like 73, but he looks 23. No, I'm kidding.
And like, yeah, you guys.
No, actually, when it comes to arrogant roles, who I thought like played like arrogant and cocky before, I liked this would be I guess it's a stretch, but they if they could even get him Chris Evans, like from when he played the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four,
Mm.
and also when he was the actor on if you ever seen have you seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
But a long time ago, I really don't remember it that much. I just remember them like fighting for that girl. That's all I remember.
Yeah, he played the actor. He played an actor that was like cocky. That was the ex boyfriend. Like one of the ex boyfriends. He was a big actor that was like extra cocky too, arrogant. I could see him doing it, but yeah,
I
that
don't think they would go
character.
after Chris Evans. I don't think he would.
No,
He
they would. I don't think he would. As a matter of fact, I would think they would need to actually get a newcomer for that one. Like someone that's not established could like make their role their own.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was my question of the night then.
Okay.
Okay, so overall rating 1 to 5. What do you have?
I have a 2.5.
Ooh,
I always give half points for like stuff that's like okay ish, and the
yeah.
half point is for like get over here. That deserves
You just won't get over it. Like, get
yeah
over
that
it.
deserves this half point right there.
Okay, for me, actually, I have a 3.5.
All right.
I'm like not great, not horrible. It's just like meh. And
Yeah.
I gave the half for the blood and gore in the fights. That's it. That got that extra. That's what got that extra 5 for me. It's like this will get that extra little half for me, the fights and the gore and the bloody stuff. That was really cool. But
Hmm.
yeah. So that's it. There you have it. We just did Mortal Kombat 19, not 19. I was gonna say 1990 something. I'm thinking of Annihilation. Yeah. We have Mortal Kombat 2021. There's supposed to be sequels in the works, so I guess we'll find out sooner or later, and we'll find out who they do cast as Johnny Cage. And when we do find out, we'll let you guys know. Or if you already know, let us know. Put it in the comments down there.
Yes.
And I'm Angela, and this is my day one.
DayOne.
And you've been watching Day One Reacts. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification so you can get our latest videos. Bye.